This video is going to walk you through how to register for a Special Olympics event. So by the time you're ready to register for an event, if you're a returning coach, you will have completed your update training for previously certified coaches. And if you're a new coach, you will have done your new coach orientation, and then you'll also had to have done your sport training. Again, coaches that are returning, if you have already trained in a sport, you do not need to redo the sport training. That sport training only needs to be done one time, and then that training will carry over for each consecutive year that you decide to participate in Special Olympics. So when you're on the coach's homepage, you'll then scroll down to the sports, and you're going to look for the sport that you want to register for. So in this example, let's say we're going to register for a basketball tournament. So we're going to click on the basketball. We'll then open to a page where it says register for a basketball tournament. So we're just going to click that link. It's going to ask you for your email address. If you will use your SSD email, it will then send you a confirmation to your registration form when you're done, so you will have a record that you registered for the event. You'll come down, you'll choose your district. So for this example, I'm going to say that I am in the special school district buildings. And again, for this example, I'll just say I am with Ackerman. And then you'll hit next. Then it's going to ask you which tournament date would your school prefer to attend. Note here how it says your date and selection is not guaranteed, because again, we have to look at only so many athletes are going to be allowed at each event. And so once all of the registrations come in, we'll be able to determine which schools can be placed at which events, and we may need to move you. So we're going to ask you for your preference, and we would ask that you choose the location that is closest to your school. So that just makes it easier for transportation. And we're going to just say in this example we want to go to Oakville. Well, let's say if we're Ackerman, we probably don't want to go to Oakville. We would probably be picking Hazelwood Central. And so then we'll go on to the next. How many athletes am I going to have at this event? I am planning on having 14 athletes and 10 adults. Again, if lunches are provided or transportation purposes, we want to be able to verify number of adults that are attending, so make sure you put that there. Will you have any athletes that require a changing area? So do we need to set up a cot and reserve a special room so that you can change diapers and things like that? I don't have any athletes in that situation, so I'm going to say no. And will we require SSD transportation? I'm going to say yes, we will. Next. Since I'm needing SSD transportation, it's going to ask me, do I have any extra equipment on the bus, referring to coolers, strollers, walkers? If yes, please list the extra equipment. So in this example, I'm going to say yes, I am needing to bring our cooler for lunches, and I might have a student in a stroller that I'm going to have to bring the stroller, and it needs to get tied down or have space on the bus for that. So I'll put that, and then I submit my form. Your response has been collected. I should now receive an email with that response. And then also a copy of this registration form will then go to the Special Olympics office. What will happen after you've completed your form? After you complete your form, you'll give us about 24 hours after the form has been submitted. We will then go through to your roster. So there you go. You see I got the registration was submitted, so that came into our inbox. We'll know that you registered for basketball, and then what we'll be able to do is go back to your roster for Ackerman, and we will add a basketball tab here so that you'll be able to submit your basketball roster. So that is going to be the process that we use to register your athletes for events. Again, following the registration, when registrations close and everybody's been assigned their date, when you go to the basketball page, under here you'll be able to click on a spreadsheet that will show you where all the schools have been assigned. And that's how you can confirm your location for your basketball tournament.
So after you have completed your registration, you are able to edit that registration. So just have to remember, it's the person that created the registration that would have to go in and edit the registration. So if you came back to the page for the basketball registration, you want to make some changes, you could just click the Register Now button. You'll see it pops up and says you've already responded, and then it gives you a way to edit your response. So you can just come in here, make the changes that you need to, and then hit save. And that should make your changes for you. Remember that you'll only be able to make changes up until the due date for the registration. So once that due date passes, I'm going to shut down all responses. You'll no longer be able to edit. And when you click here, it will say the form has closed. So another way you can get to edit your responses is once you've registered, you're going to get an email back from the system saying thanks for your registration. There'll be a link on there for you to go in and edit your registration, so you may want to make sure you save those registration emails so that if you need to go back to them, you will have access to them. What I want to make sure that we don't do is to duplicate registrations for schools. So if a partner, teacher, coach in your building was the one to register for a sport and you need to make those changes, please make sure that is the coach that goes in and edits that registration as opposed to creating a duplicate one. But if you have any questions or any issues with the registration process, please don't hesitate to give me a call.